Hi, everybody. Just a very short introduction before we start the hypnosis session, just in case anybody's not done any hypnosis before. Just wanted to almost reassure you a little bit. Hypnosis is a completely natural state. It's what we call a modified state of consciousness. But without even knowing it, we all do it every day. So, for example, if you drive, if you're driving your car, your conscious mind is, you can be having a chat with your co-pilot or, singing along to the radio, whatever, but your subconscious mind is, ultimately driving you on automatic to where it is you want to go. Have you ever got somewhere and thought, oh, I don't remember almost taking the sort of conscious steps to get there? It's because your subconscious mind was, knows the route, knows the path, so it takes you there. Another example is like if you're into a really exciting book or you're watching a film and you're really absorbed in it, you're in like a state of hyper concentration almost, and that is a hypnotic state as well. It's just like I said, a modified state of consciousness, so it's where you're not focused 100% on your thoughts all of the time. Okay. And quite often people are resistant to, or I've met a lot of people that are resistant to hypnosis because there's this notion of letting go of control. Whereas what I always explain, which I love, is it's the opposite way around. You think you're letting go of control of your conscious mind, but actually you are getting control of your conscious and subconscious mind. Okay. And anyone that's not familiar with, what is your subconscious mind? It's sort of what stocks or stores, as it were, your memories, your past experiences, your resources, your inner strengths, whatever you want to call them. It's almost the acknowledgement that our conscious mind, dependent on research, says that we have between 60 and 80,000 thoughts, 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, and that we can't simply manage all of them in our, imagine if I've never worked out how many thoughts that is a minute, but a lot, right? We couldn't manage those if we were having to sort of think and okay, what do I do with this thought here and now? Our subconscious mind, because we've done things so many times and in the same way, takes control and does things almost automatically. And sometimes those things serve us and sometimes they don't. And hence the idea with hypnosis is to go and tap in to some of those experiences, those memories, those resources, and maybe redirect them or use them in a different way. So I hope that helps. It's just a quick intro. The important thing to know is if at any time you don't feel comfortable with the exercise, you're not enjoying it, you don't feel it's serving you, you can always step out of the hypnotic state. You're completely and utterly in control, so you can always do that. I always remember the very first hypnosis session I had. I remember having a really itchy nose, and I remember lying down. I was lying down. It was a session where I was lying down, and I remember my conscious mind going, "Oh, my nose is really itchy," and the sort of like you're in quite a relaxed state, so almost like my subconscious going, "Oh, but can I really be bothered?" And I remember going like, "Yeah, but I want to make sure that I have control." So I brought my hand to my nose and I scratched it because you have control, but you will feel almost that like very relaxed, lethargic almost state, which is just giving your subconscious mind the time to absorb things. Okay, enough introduction, so I hope I've shared what I needed to. If you are ready, get yourselves into a comfortable position. Either ideally sitting. It's good to be a little bit active in terms of your posture, sitting in a positive posture, back straight on the chair, etc., with your feet grounded on the floor. But if you feel more comfortable, I know I've done it many times, also lying down, it works as well. The risk is more that you fall asleep, but again, that doesn't matter if you've got the time and the space to do that. Okay, so get yourselves in a comfortable space. I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to share my screen. A little video of Montmorel, which is my sister and her husband's house in the south of France, just as a background, and that's just going to turn. So to be honest, you're going to probably close your eyes in a minute, but if you need or want to look at the screen, you can just see the I can't remember which, it's not corn, whatever flower it is that's moving in the wind, but I thought it was quite hypnotic in itself. So if you're not comfortably sitting or lying down, then just pause maybe the video until you are. And if you are, taking the time to feel the chair beneath you or the bed if you're lying down. Feel the sensation of is it a comfy chair, a soft chair? Is it maybe a harder wooden chair? Can you feel the duvet under the bed, whatever it is, or maybe on the sofa? Just taking the time to feel yourself physically in the space that you're in. Okay, maybe your feet are on the floor. Maybe you can feel a slight tingling sensation, maybe not. Again, just becoming more and more conscious of what you can feel and observe around you. For example, you might feel the touch of the material of your t-shirt against your skin, or your trousers against your legs, or whatever it is that you're wearing against your skin. Just becoming more and more aware of your bodily sensations. And if there is any outdoor noise or distractions, just taking them as an invitation to look inwards, okay? And if you haven't already, you might want to close your eyes, knowing that at any time, like I said, if you want to come back to the here and now, you can. You fully can make that decision and decide, okay? But right now, let's take a deep breath in through the nose and then a deep breath out through the mouth. And bring your attention to the feeling of the air coming in through your nostrils and then out through your mouth. Take the time to feel your body relax into the chair. Maybe noticing any tension in your shoulder releasing. Maybe noticing yourself sink more into your chair. Feel almost a heaviness that at the same time maybe feels quite light. And when you're ready, at your own rhythm, maybe imagining a path in front of you. And this path can look however you want it to, and maybe you might start to picture the ground of this path and the ground on which you're going to place your feet one step at a time. Maybe it's a gravel path, maybe it's a grass path, maybe something completely different, something else. Take the time to feel the sensation. Maybe that tingling we talked about earlier, maybe something else, maybe a sense of connection every time your feet touch the ground as you move forward along that path. And as you walk along this path, observing what there is to observe around you, taking in any sounds that you can hear, noticing any smells that might come to your nostrils, maybe reaching out a hand and touching any flowers or trees or anything else that you might be able to touch as you walk along your path. And maybe you start to enter a small forest with a few trees scattered left and right. And you might start to count those trees just to help you become even more relaxed. At the first tree, maybe you acknowledge that your conscious mind might be having a few thoughts, but trusting and knowing deeply that your subconscious mind is already enjoying this inner journey. At the second tree, you might relax a little deeper into your chair, trusting yourself, connecting to a deeper sense of inner knowing. At the third tree, you might notice a squirrel peeking its head out from behind a tree and smiling at you. At the fourth tree, you might decide that it would be nice to let go of any remaining resistance, wouldn't it? And at the fifth tree, you are ready to see what is ahead of you along the path. And as you maybe look up slightly, you observe, notice, and see a door ahead of you along this path, amongst the trees, a door leading to a room that is your room, a room that represents your safe space. And even just seeing the door already starts to make you feel comfortable, safe. And so you can take more conscious steps towards that door. Maybe it has a big handle, maybe a small handle, maybe it's a wooden door, maybe it's made of something completely different. Just recognizing that door, knowing that it's yours. And when you're ready, opening that door and stepping inside. Straight away, you might feel engulfed by a wonderful feeling of love, of harmony, of vital energy, of inner peace. Because this room is full of love. It's full of a deep connection to that vital energy that circulates within each and every one of us. And you can feel that energy running through your body. You can feel that self-love, that compassion strongly. And maybe there are parts of yourself still resisting, but maybe there are parts of yourselves completely taking on that energy, that love, that compassion. And maybe those parts of yourself that are resisting could do with a little bit more self-love. And so the parts of yourself that are comfortable, that have already integrated that self-love, they can take that ball of energy, that ball of love, or whatever other shape it might take, that compassion. And you can imagine sending that ball around your body, sending it to the physical, the spiritual, or the mental parts of yourself that need that boost of love, that need that energy. And imagine the sensation within your body. Imagine feeling, receiving that love in each of those parts of you that need it. And as you receive it fully, wholly, noticing that any parts of you that were once resisting or conflicting are now totally aligned and at peace. They are now part of the whole of you, which is you. And it's at this moment, as you feel full of love, that you notice an object in your room, an object that represents your self-love, the self-love that is currently running through the whole of you and all of the different parts of you. And so you can take a step closer to that object, pick it up maybe and hold it close to you, knowing that self-love is always there, ready for you to access at any time and in any place. And maybe you might want to take that object with you on your journey back, or maybe you want to find a word that represents that object. Either way, you feel ready to start to walk towards the door at your own pace, feeling a renewed sense of confidence in your step, knowing that even if your conscious mind might forget this room, this object, your subconscious mind will know and will share that self-love with you always. So as you walk towards the door, either with the object with you or as a word that represents it, you can once again take the handle and step out of the door and find yourself back in your forest. As you start walking back past the trees that you'd seen earlier, maybe you notice the squirrel popping its head out from behind one of the trees, and the smile that you noticed earlier on that squirrel's face, you recognize now as a knowing smile. A knowing smile because the squirrel knows that you have taken what you needed from that room. And as you continue to walk along your path through the forest, you start to notice the same trees that you counted earlier. And this time we're going to count those trees backwards. And when we get to the very first tree, you will be back fully and completely in the here and now. So as you notice the fifth tree, the last one you saw earlier, the first one you're seeing now, you might start to become more aware of the space around you, reminding yourself that you're maybe in the here and now on a chair or on a bed, rather than actually in a forest. At the fourth tree that you notice, you might start to bring back some micro movements into your hands and feet, wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers, whatever feels right. At the third tree, as you move forward further, maybe you might start to become more aware of the feelings in your body, the feelings that are circulating within you, the heaviness, the lightness, whatever other sensations are going through you. At the second tree, you might start to bring in some bigger movements, maybe taking a big inhale, maybe taking a big exhale as well. And at the first tree that you see, when you are ready and at your own rhythm, starting to open your eyes and coming back to the here and now.